Hey guys, welcome back to Kumasao Reviews. We're taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii metal build, Freedom Gundam Concept 2. As you can notice, I am outside. Why am I outside? Because basically we've moved into a new house. Got an upstairs patio, downstairs patio. As the young kids say, I guess I'm living my best life. When it's nice outside, personally, I don't really like being inside too much, so I've been spending a lot of my time just being outside, doing house projects, spending time with the dogs, etc., etc. It's really hard to get motivated and be cramped up inside, doing photography and stuff like that. Still working full time, and I like to spend my free time doing what I want to do. So, kind of bringing not work with me. So I'm just upstairs on the patio, got my dogs here, and yeah, motivated myself to actually get a review done. But anyway, again, this is Bandai Tamashii, their metal build, Freedom Gundam Concept 2. So this is an upgrade from their previous Freedom Gundam release, which was, I believe, either their first or second metal build release. I think that it was actually their first. Really dated in terms of aesthetic, engineering, etc., etc. This is well overdue. So, taking a look at this guy, he is approximately to the top of the antenna, 7 3/4 inches tall from what I've got. The reason that I'm not doing it to the head, the antenna on this one actually isn't removable. Normally they come with two sets. Sometimes one's bendable, sometimes one's solid. Sometimes they're exactly the same, just in case one breaks. But this is attached to the head. Stand stays in place at the bottom, unlike the L-Strike.
So in terms of accessories, he comes with...
It's got, of course, backpack wings, two guns on a side skirt, a la Strike Freedom. His rifle. These pieces come off the handles to the swords, and they do attach at the bottom. They just clip out. I don't know why I'm having such a problem, but focus here. Alright. They attach to each other, but refocus. They also come with a single blade as well if you want to do it that way. So, let me see if I get this right. Put it on the right side. That looks about right. Okay. Variety of hands, of course, his blades, two stand pieces, as well as his shield, which we'll get into. Alright. Zooming out again. Just wanted to take a measure of them for literal good measure. And about, I'm seeing again 7 3/4 inches tall. I'm comfortable saying that. Now before we get with his backpack on, put him on the stand, I'd like to go over the articulation here. This uses the same frame as the Strike Freedom. And I appreciate, I don't remember who told me, but it was on a Metal Build Facebook group. And the person let me know. Alright, so 360, just ball jointed head. See if I can get that put on. Alright. And then, I don't know if this is another ball joint where the neck meets that clavicle, but more movement there. And this whole thing actually rocks as well, which is really neat. Just like the Strike Freedom, but yeah. Ugh, I keep popping that off. Downwards, upwards, alright. Shoulders. These flip upwards, like the Strike Freedom. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I prefer the more, I'd call it modern metal build style, to where they're attached here and they flip upwards rather than outwards. And a problem here, and you'll see in a second, is these pieces underneath. So when it comes to putting the shoulders up, they do kind of get in the way, and then that starts to flip up. I'd rather the whole thing flips outward. Just not a good look. See what I'm saying there? It just starts to get awkward, where the newer style does not do that. Alright. So when it comes to bicep swivel, see if this piece. Alright. And these are really tight joints. Not super tight, not scary like the Astray modes, if you guys have any of those, but just good and tight. They're perfect. They're exactly where I'd want joints to be in that sense. Alright, double jointed elbow. Nice thick die cast frame. Okay. And then the wrists are on those pegs. There is some rock there, the whole piece. Rocks in and out. And then this actually goes back and forth. Something I didn't know. Now looking at the waist. Full 360 here. I like that the front and back skirts don't get in the way of that. Side skirts might cause some hindrance issues, or some hindrance. Ab crunch. Back bend. Alright. Side rock. Now, the legs, and this is the same as the Strike Freedom. Not really the biggest fan. So, they have something that's akin to drop hips put in. Let me see if I can brighten this up. Yeah. I'm actually learning how to use my camera. Good stuff. Alright. So, this piece, it's a whole hinge. Normally, when it comes to drop hips, which is making the hips go lower so that they can kind of have more front and back swing, not kind of, so that they can have more front and back swing, this just has a hinge, and then the hip is attached to the hinge as a whole. So instead of using this hinge to drop and then still the separate swing joint to go back and forth, either lower or higher, this just takes the whole thing and brings it on this roundabout, all right? So it works okay for the front, even though aesthetically it's... I can zoom out now that I've showed you. Bring the light down. Hey! Alright, so it's not really too aesthetically pleasing because now the hip is completely separated from the actual, like, crotch area there. But then when you bring it back, it really has no back bend in terms of the hips. That's as far as it can go. Reason being is because this swing part that works well for the front swings it back into the waist area there. So if you like the more heroic Obara style posing and stuff like that, it really just does not work well. You know? But it's the nice thing about this being a Gundam with a flight pack, you're mostly going to have it on the stand anyway, or at least I do. It actually is at the point where it renders this back hip skirt going back pointless because you can't swing the hip back any farther. So it's unfortunate. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but it's what it is. Double jointed knee bend. Let's look at the thigh swivel. All right, it does swivel back and forth. It's a more realistic thigh swivel. Because of the shape of this, it seems like it can do a 360. I'm not going to press it though, because it just seems like that area is going to meet the hip and screw something up. I'm not buying another one of these. So the feet, should probably start from this side first. Back, I like that this whole thing rocks back and forth. That's beautiful. Back and forth. The foot itself, the front goes up and down. And even the foot, it's just so tight. It's beautiful. All right, 1, 2, in and out, okay? I will say that because of this part, that collar, the head likes to pop off when you're trying to swivel it, so just be mindful of that. Just something to show off some articulation there.
Now it's time to get
Balance.
this guy all dialed up.
Alright.
It's just a nice.
So we'll start with the guns that go on the side skirts there. So each of these, like the Strike Freedom, can fold out, become a gun. And I'm trying to make sure that I put these on the correct way. So this is actually the front. So I should, yeah, this is right. Alright, put that on that side. They just clip in. Alright. So I'm not going to go over a lot of the posing and things like that. Once I've got it on the stand, I'm just going to show you how things work so you know how I got there, and then show you the poses. Backpack. Just clips on. Okay. And you really got to watch his balance when it comes to having the backpack on. Get these down. All right. darken it a bit. Now, with the wings, the way they work, you just saw this hinge that brings them up and down. They can move in and out as well, another hinge. It has a couple of different pieces that move up and down. This one goes there, and then on the inside, this piece here moves back and forth. They're really tight, so sometimes you're going to get pieces that move together, but they are their own separate swivel, all right? And then these pieces as well. Now, on each side, this piece can come up and then kind of rotate around, and you saw the head just popped off again. So annoying. But then you've got a blaster there. Alright? Now, when it comes to the different hands, they just pop on and off. I am going to show you the shield, though. Not the biggest fan of the shield, and I'll show you in a second. Now, you could have them. This goes in and out, okay? And it attaches on the back of the forearm, like so. But the problem is, even outside of fiddling and everything like that, I'm talking when you've got it already set up and this and that, it does not stay attached to this hole very well. So, you see, I'm trying to dick with it. I wish it like firm clipped in or something like that, but it just doesn't, and I don't know why they designed it like that. It's just a soft friction connection, and yeah. The assistant ranger, he's out here just behind me, showing some support, feeling the breeze, living his best life too. Alright, so pretty basic stuff here. Just a normal flight pose, feet kicked out or 1 foot kicked out, utilizing one of the beam savers, which I've taken off of this. The back parts of these side skirt blasters, they do go outwards like I showed you at the beginning of this review, but I've got the gun attached to the back of his skirt, gets in the way, so did that. The nice part about this, and I want this down, there we go, get those wings looking right. Alright, show you guys that first. The nice part about this, and it's something that I hope to see in more metal builds going forward, because there are some engineering what the fucks when it comes to this, but it comes with a clip that actually goes in the backside of them and holds them up really, really well. Alright, see if I can line that up some so you guys can actually see it. God, I love that this camera can do that. Yeah. Now, especially with I was telling you guys about this getting in the way of posing. This is another instance to where, no, I actually put it up this side. If this could go upwards instead of outwards, I'd be able to put this out with the shield a bit more and not have to really ride the wings. And another issue you could see, it's starting to come out. So I'm not going to worry about that part because I told you guys that's problematic. We're all on the same page there, but yeah. Darken this up a bit. Okay. So another flight pose here, I'm using the two separate handles joined rather than the pre-made joined handles. That way you don't have to slip them through the fingers, bend them out and things like that. You can just slip them right through the open points in the hands and put them together. And they hold together well, as you can see. So there we go, and I'm officially that weirdo on the roof, probably filming something that people can't see, and they probably think I'm filming them or something like that. So let's finish this. And here's just a random shot of a couple of Seed mobile suits, or Seed Gundams. That is Strike Freedom. That's the Soul Blue version. This is, of course, the Freedom Concept 2 and the Outstrike. So, zooming in a bit. Now, the Wings of Light I have are the knockoff. The toy itself is official. For the Strike Freedom, I'm not spending more than the Strike Freedom for the wings. So, when I find a good deal, I'll change that. But until then, they work just fine. Alright? There we go. Just for the sake of comparison shot there. And again, these two use the same frame, but this one, just because of the shell and things like that, it handles it quite a bit better. And again, this has been the Bandai Tamashii Metal Build Freedom Gundam Concept 2. Honestly, if I had to give it a score off the top of my head, I'd say a solid 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7. It's a solid enough toy. It's just kind of bland by modern metal build standards to me. I understand that it uses the same frame as the Freedom Gundam or Strike Freedom, but I don't know. It just does not do it for me in terms of just the articulation and the way some of the pieces are handled, like the backswing on the hips, the way that the shoulder pads get in the way a bit more because of this piece underneath and things like that. It's just different, you know, even little stuff like the back of the shield not really pegging in well to the forearm. You know, it's a modern Gundam with aspects of it that have engineering that's subpar to the point where it gives off the illusion of being dated, if that makes sense. So, for those of you who got it, I hope you enjoyed a lot more than me. You know, I don't hope that people dislike something or are unpleased with it by all means. But, you know, just giving my honest opinion there. Thank you guys for watching. Check out the gallery written article on kumasao.com. That'll be done sooner than later now that I've got a whole photo room and can shoot all day and this and that. It just feels good, man. Thank you guys for supporting me during my time off, getting the house ready and all that. And hopefully you guys have had a good summer, starting to have a good fall, and just all that good stuff, man. Be well, be safe, and I'll see you next time.